Welcome back to Target Transfers Podcast, the number one heat printing podcast in the world. Today, we're delighted to be joined by the team at Brand It Essex. We've got James and Steph here. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in. We're really pleased to have you in because we can see that from your social channels that you're really starting to go from strength to strength and really getting stuck into every aspect of branding. So could you tell us a little bit about what you do, how you got started, why you chose to get into the branding game?
So it kind of all started from Steph's family. You've been in print industry for many, many years between them.
Yeah, I'm surprised I wasn't actually born in a print factory, to be honest with you. My dad had a print company for 45 years when he retired. So yeah, I've just always been around print. Not this type of print. Ours was like digital, wide format, litho, like all stuff like that. So it's really different. And then he merged with a print company back in 2014, I'd say. And they done workwear. So then we was into like this new world. I then left there in 2017, went off, and we had a gift company that everything was all personalised. So every single item had a different format of print. And then we kept sitting there, didn't we? And we were like, we've got all this knowledge. Jim had this database of clients that kept going to him, or where can I get workwear? So we just formed pretty much overnight, and then you took it. And
we started back in October 2019, and if I'm honest, it was a bit of a side hustle for myself. Steph had a full-time company, and it was I was in sales for a builders merchant, and I've been doing that for 14, 15 years. And as Steph said, had a bit of a database of people that I dealt with regularly. So we sort of started dealing with a couple of customers, nothing major, started sharing it, building a bit of a following up on Instagram, and it's kind of grown from there, really. It was only ever supposed to be a small little workwear company, but it's kind of grown into workwear and banners and signage and merchandise and kind of anything you can get your hands on. But because it was all in the background while I was doing another working for a company initially, everything we had to do, we found that we had to source from all around the world almost. So very quickly, I'd sort of started dealing with China. I deal with Poland. I deal with Netherlands. I deal with Turkey. Deal with various places around the country. Building up this great sort of network of people that we use to be the company we are today, basically. But yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things that kind of makes you perhaps a bit more unique among some of our customers, you can do pretty much everything branding wise. So you're not just clothing, like say you can do posters, I guess you do a lot of mugs, you can do bags, you can do pretty much anything, so that if they need to get their brand out there, that they can come to you and have you like a single source in that sense.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to start like that. It was kind of the salesman in me that wanted to. It was supposed to just be workwear, wasn't it? That was kind of how it started. And then somebody said, "Can you do business cards?" Yeah, I can do business cards. I'll make it happen. And then made it happen. And then it became, like you said, merchandise. Started off just doing mugs and things. Very simple. We started doing them in-house. You was already doing them, wasn't you, for your customers?
I remember growing up, my dad always used to say, if the customer asks, you always say yes. And then you hang up and then you go, oh my God, how are we going to sort this out? And that was how it was, wasn't it? That we kept saying yes. And I was like, but we can, because if somebody else can do it, then we can source it. And now people go, well, what do you do? And I'm like, anything I can put a logo on, we will find a way to put it on. If you want it tattooed, we will find somewhere that you can go and get it tattooed on.
I've got a place for temporary tattoos. We have got a place for that. But yeah, that is kind of it. It's, a bit of anything and everything.
So if we cut you open, so you probably bleed ink rather than blood.
Do you know what? Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
So that's a really good way to do it, because and we find the same is that if you make it easy for people, they'll be more successful as well, though, because you don't want your customers to have to spend all their time sourcing goods, because that's not the way they can add value to their own businesses anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's much better they can come to you like, I've got transferable skills, I can work it out. That's what I always say to our customers, the same as say yes, because with the amount of technology that's out there now, there's not an easy way, but there's a manageable way of achieving some kind of branding, at least anyway.
It's also a really good way for companies to actually save money, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Because if they can come to one place and get everything, they haven't got the company doesn't then need a whole team of people going here, there, and everywhere and buy and paying shipping from that supplier and this supplier. Like we bundle it all together and we can get it all sorted. We do that a lot with some of our big clients, isn't it? We go from like the exhibition side of it where they've got to exhibit and they're going for the mugs and the bags and everything. And I think from my point of view, oh my God, I can't imagine sitting in an office and someone going, I need 1,000 bags. Right, well, you go to that company and then I need 1,000 mugs, you go over there. And they literally call us up and then we're like, yeah, it's fine. We can get everything sorted. Yeah. And we then know that all the artwork matches because, as you'll know, how some places print is completely different to how other places print. We see it so often, don't we?
I would agree. And it's all about attention to detail as well, which I know that you're both fans of. I've had that before. Previous place I worked, we've had like the fabric pop-up stands. Yeah. And I was working at a bioscience company and we kept having to change the things we were allowed to say on the stand. Okay, quick, take that one off because we can't do that anymore. And we had 3 or 4 of them and went to an exhibition. We're like, it was like more like a purple rainbow because they just changed from banner to banner. And they're only like a month apart from each other. But if you haven't got someone who's giving that attention to detail about maintaining that consistency across every product, you just look cheap.
Yeah, and that's kind of it, because everything we do has been, it's when we started, as I said, it wasn't supposed to be quite what it is now, but when we decided, right, we're going to go for it, you have to find a way to stand out in a busy market. And what makes us different from any other print company or workwear company can't just be the fact that we offer other services, because a lot of people offer other services as well. You have to be defined by how you look after people, what products you recommend, how you see things through. And that's kind of what we've been gone and done from the start, is that we guide people along experience. We sort of make sure that things are consistent, make sure that there's no issues, and then if an issue does happen, you hold your hand up and go, it's my mistake, and then do everything you can to put it right, because end of the day, customer service is king for that sort of thing. And repeat business, that probably, well, I'd say 95% of people that order from us come back, and I would say at least 60% of them people have recommended us to friends. Like we get a lot of repeat business off the back of that. So it's something that's really important, is the attention to detail with branding. Yeah,
and I imagine probably actually by having quite a large service offering, is it quite difficult to have to actually say no to people sometimes? Because they sometimes like, yeah, have that, and you're like, why?
Yeah,
it's the expectations of people. Like, I sometimes think that certainly with, I wouldn't even say smaller companies. Actually, I find it with probably the large companies as well. They'll see things that other people have got and they're like, well, I want that. And I'm like, but that's not in the budget. Yeah, but I only want to pay £1. We had it not that long ago where somebody wanted something really unique, but they only wanted it for £1. And I'm like, you can't have unique and £1 in the same bracket, unfortunately. Like, it just doesn't. I would love to, but it's not then unique, because if it's cheap, everyone's got it. And it's really difficult sometimes to get that across. And we're very hot on the fact that we are not the cheapest. We know that, but we refuse to be the cheapest because we won't compromise on our level of customer service and the quality at all. We won't. I get it all the time when someone goes, we'll quote, and I'll go to Jim, they're not going to buy. I just know they're not going to buy. I just get that feeling. And they go, oh, it's too expensive, which is fine. Everyone does have a budget and you have to stay within that budget. And then 3 weeks later, they'll go, okay, so we didn't order and we ordered from elsewhere and it's turned up and it's absolutely your fault. And then I feel really bad because I'm like, I knew it was going to happen. This is why we recommend this brand, and this is why we only do this style of print or whatever. And it's hard, isn't it? Because sometimes you want to take one and be like, oh, it's fine, I'll do it. But you can't, because in theory, our company won't grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we spent 2 years avoiding print bundles. The 10 t-shirts for X amount or whatever it is. We spent 2 years avoiding it, but ultimately the need and people's wants sort of overtook it. So rather than just doing, right, we'll do 10 t-shirts for whatever it is, we decided to release what we call the premium bundle. And it's exactly that. We're not mucking around, we're not lying. We've got 5 of our favorite organic t-shirts, we've got 2 of our favorite sweatshirts, and we've got one of our favorite gilets, like from brands that we know, we trust, and we know we don't get any comebacks on. I must sell like a dozen of them a week.
Yeah.
People come to us for that reason, because they know that they're getting something that's going to last, and I think it's worth doing it right rather than just being.
I would completely agree on that. And depending on who the end customer, if it's going to like your customer's customer, people's understanding of quality is so much higher than it ever was. That they won't. Your customer won't get that business again if they send them a cheap T-shirt, or one that it's a bit of an odd shade or something. Just to save 10p a T-shirt.
Yeah.
They're not going to get. They'll never find out why they didn't get that business, but they won't get it back.
Yeah.
Because people want quality, they want to like have an experience of receiving branded items.
Yeah, I think it's getting better. I do think it's getting better. And to be honest, we had there was a article that we had written about. So I can't remember what it's in now. It might have been in the Startups magazine or something, but it was one we had written a little while back. And in it was literally focused on the benefits. Like, do you buy cheaply or do you buy something that's more premium? And what lasts longer? If you might save yourself 50 quid on an order, but then you have to buy it again in a few months, compared to paying that extra 50 quid and it lasts in a year to, whatever it may be. I mean, there's jackets I sold people 2.5 years ago that they're like, it's like brand new. It doesn't, but because we've gone for that,
they actually apologise, don't they? The amount of times that people call up and they'll message on Instagram just to check in on us. And it's like, and I'll see it and it'll be like 11:30 at night, and we're just massive workaholics, aren't we?
Unfortunately.
So we'll be sitting there and I'm going to Jim, why is he apologising? He's like, it's because he brought this back then, and he's actually saying, I'm really sorry, like I actually don't need another coat yet. Which is, that's actually, I prefer that to someone to keep coming back and going, like it's ruined, I need another one. Whereas our customers aren't really like that, are they?
No, we had somebody say, I really want to buy something from you, but I don't need anything.
That's how you're going to get that referral business, because
exactly that
could be going down the pub every week for 3 years, and someone's going to be like, "Is that the same coat you're still wearing?" And be like, "Yeah, I got it from Brand It Essex."
Yeah,
and we have noticed. Well, I've noticed, especially being in this industry for such a long time, that it's not just 9 till 5 workwear anymore. That we're exactly the same, aren't we? We will wear our workwear. This sounds like I sound like a proper loser now, don't I? Like I haven't got a wardrobe with any other clothes in. But I haven't. No, you don't.
No, I don't.
But like we will spend good money on good clothing and we'll wear it all the time. Because for us, why would you not promote your own business 24/7?
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of our customers have now, because we see it a lot, don't we? Where especially with the men, they're like, we want a really good winter jacket, but not a work jacket. I want a decent one that I can wear out and about. And we've just invested, haven't we? We've just done,
we've just imported loads of them from Canada. We one of our brands is Canadian for the jackets and things. And there's bits we can get from our wholesalers, but we've just bought loads in from Canada because it's a bigger catalogue of stuff and something that's a bit different, a bit nicer. And it does go a long way.
But I think that's something I want to come around to, is how you communicate to your customers, because you're actually doing quite unique in the sense that you're very proactive with communicating, but actually teaching your customers the importance of quality is a big part of being successful. So actually, those coats will come in and you'll probably take them out of the box and be like, look at this stitching, how good it is, and they'll be like, I need that. The next time I'm getting my coats, I want it done like that. I think that's going to look the best. And I think what you mentioned about workwear is actually, over the sort of the last 5 years, it's something that really surprised me. When I first started in Target Transfers, I had one of the big workwear companies come in and kind of explained the evolution of their catalogue. It's like, actually, even in the importance of like the shape of a high-vis coat. Like workwear people, they have to wear that at least 10 hours a day, probably. They want to,
that's exactly it.
Doing it.
That's exactly it.
You wear your workwear more than what you wear your normal clothes. Let's face it, you do.
Yeah. Well,
so it's got to be comfortable and it's got to be long lasting.
Yeah, I've been sort of researching some stats on it all because I wanted to incorporate a video in, like, how often you need to be brand to be seen before you're recognised and stuff like that. I think it was like 7 or 8 times for somebody just to see your logo before they recognise it the next time. And you think, if you're wearing your brand every day, it's not going to take long before people start seeing it, is it? So it's sort of, it makes sense. And if you're in it 9-10 hours a day, you want to be comfortable.
Yeah. Well, I noticed it quite a lot. We do print and promotion event every year. And one of the sort of a year or two in, I was like, we need to ditch these shirts. We can't just keep turning up in shirts and suit trousers and shoes, because it's not really garment decorating anyway. So let's just get hoodies and t-shirts and get nice jeans, but put some nice clean trainers with it. And you could tell that because no one else in the room was doing it, the people start to take us more seriously because we had more branding on us. And I paid the extra 50p for the slightly nicer hoodies and t-shirts. And they like took us seriously because they could see that we're taking the time to understand clothing. And everyone else has just got like the tiny logo on the cut shirt, blue shirt, trousers, and they're like, that's a bit boring.
Or the pin badge or something.
Exactly. Yeah. But it was all those details are really important to customers, I think.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we've just literally we've sorted out some more uniform for ourselves that we're wearing, and I've got polo shirts, I've got t-shirts, I've got jumpers, I've got loads of different Storm Tech jackets and things that I wear, but I've actually just gone for tracksuit now, because I mean, don't get me wrong, in certain meetings you dress up, make yourself look a bit smart. I'm still branded without wearing shirt and tie. I think that's a bit old hat personally. It's definitely not my style. I don't think it'd be yours or Chris's.
You're not going to see me
or Chris's, but but I kind of want to be comfortable, and like you said, we do a lot in front of the camera. We do a lot of humping stock around and all sorts of stuff. So if I want to wear a tracksuit that's fully branded, I want to wear a tracksuit. We still pick the good brands. We still work with things that look smart, even though it's casually comfortable, I guess. But yeah, I think that's the way forward. I mean, when I started sales 12 years ago, maybe, it was for a builder's merchant, and it was shirt, trousers, tie, and I was probably one of the first reps not to wear a tie. And it was, oh, you got to wear a tie, you got to wear a tie. And I'm like, but it's a bit old hat now, isn't it? It's not really. And it is, and it's not that comfortable. And don't get me wrong.
Site as well.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I think there's a time and a place, but it's like, I think it's like the way you carry yourself when you have conversations with people. Like, my vocabulary can be quite. You might have to beep it out sometimes, and you see that in my stories because I'm real. It's me on my stories, and you do see that. But at the same time, if I'm sitting in front of Richard Branson, I'm not going to start swearing. I'm going to hold it back. And I think you need to know when you can dress the way you dress, when you can talk the way you talk, and things like that. So yeah, I think you've got it 100% right. If you need to wear something that's comfortable, something that shows off the brand, something that lets your personality out and makes you approachable. I think that's
when we rebranded the uniforms a few weeks ago, didn't we? Connor, that works for us, it's just really cool. I couldn't get away with it. It's just really cool fashion, isn't it?
Yeah, he's our social media guy, so he needs to be involved.
He could wear a tracksuit that matches that car you've got, probably, and get
100%. But he was like, I said to him, I was like, look, go through the website, find out what you want, tell me. And he was like bringing it in. And I was like, right. I said, but you're not going to want the normal coloured logo. And I said to him, as long as it's a logo, you can have it any colour you want. Well, we were having like bright pink logos, neon logos. And I was like, it's fine. I said, because as long as you've got the logo on, I'm cool with it. And he's like,
got some oversized stuff, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got oversized. I think at one point he did ask if he could have like some parachute pants. Things. And I was like, I don't think any of the suppliers yet have actually branched into that bit.
Yeah, no, it is good. It is good, but yeah, I think you definitely got it right with that.
And so, how do you go about finding new products? And I saw on your Instagram you've been at Merch World and stuff not so long ago. But what was it about a product when you see it that stands out? Like, okay, that's the one. What do you look for when you go to an event like Premiere Promotion? You're looking at blank garments. Is there something that like a quality that you're looking for from them?
Probably
I don't really know.
I get really sick and tired of the promotional industry always being the same. It is always the same thing. Everyone wants a mug, everyone wants a mouse mat. And we try and step away from that, because if you're going to be, even with t-shirts, when people go, can we do like 100 t-shirts because we want to give them out, but we want them the cheapest. And I'm like, but you're then just giving out cheap stuff. So all you're doing is you're literally just telling people that you are a cheap company. So and we always go for the organic t-shirt, don't we? And it's not even, we're not a non-sustainable company, but it is everything's, the organic stuff used to be really, really, really expensive back in the day, whereas now it's really starting to come up with the average market price, isn't it? And we can we can sell that and the quality's there. So then when we're out at print and promotion or something's there, I personally go for different and the quality. That's what I like.
We've used loads of brands over the years. Used loads of brands. There's sort of a workwear brand which we did a lot with, which is fine. It's a really good brand. It's actually under the Aldi's or AWS umbrella, under that sort of main brand. But we did a lot of that, but it sort of fell into the not being different, and we've kind of started looking at what we would wear. There was a brand that I started using, but then I noticed some of my t-shirts, the sizing was inconsistent and they didn't wash up very well. So I was like, nah, I literally just knocked it on the head. Went and found a different brand, and we're kind of stuck with this organic brand now, which we do a lot of them. It's a brand called Stanley and Stella. I think it's in Belgium, isn't it? I think they said that it's produced, but yeah, we do loads of them, absolutely loads of them. They're organic t-shirts are in our bundle. We've got an organic bundle, which has got their jumper in it. It's just one that we sort of, we stick with. And then again, the same for like coats and things. We do, our go-to brand is Stormtech. I sort of loosely liken it to sort of North Face type thing. It's like a nice premium quality, or the Helly Hansen sort of well, but it's a Canadian brand, so it's often there, stand out in the rain for sort of 10 hours type and minus 20 degrees. And we kind of just look for things that look good but feel good and don't shrink, don't lose color. And if you've got things that sort of spread across sexes as well, like this Russell jumper, again, they go across men and women, and they're really good quality. So yeah, we just kind of, I don't know, you look for stuff that's a bit different, but stuff that's going to last. That's kind of what it's about. If someone's paying a couple of quid extra, but it's lasting 12 months, year, 2 years, whatever it is, people don't mind paying for it. And, we've been doing it a few years. People want to know that we know what we're talking about. And we certainly try. We certainly try. I mean, we do. We bring in so many things, and every now and then somebody will go on the website and they'll go, "Can I have that?" And then we'll bring it in and we'll go, "Cool, I like that." And that is sometimes how you find things. I mean, I actually found Stormtech by accident on the initial one because somebody went, "Oh, I really like that jacket." I got it in. I was like, "Yeah, this needs to stay. This is definitely one that's staying." And then I just spent loads of money getting samples in and promoting it and talking about it. And yeah, people buy into it because we sort of become the authority in it almost, haven't we? We've sort of said, "This is us. This is what we do. This is what we are good at. Listen to us, and we're not going to steer you in the wrong direction." Basically, and
a lot of our orders start with, "I want that jacket that you've got on in that story."
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that.
And then I'm having to go to Jim. What jacket is it? I don't know which one that you've pulled out today.
Oh, I like that gilet you're wearing. Yeah. Or another thing I do. I've branded my shoulder the same as I've done my chest because I wanted it to look different. I wanted it to be. Actually, no, that's a lie. We go to business training. I was there yesterday. And I always sit at the front of the class. That's something I picked up from Steph, where I want to sit at the front because I want to learn everything. I want to be there and absorb it. Because it's a great time. But being at the front, nobody can see who I am. So I put my logo on my back, but to one side so that everyone saw it. But we get a lot of people go, "I love that. Can you do that as well?" Yeah. It's just like, what have you done now? What have you done now? And yeah.
I think it's a great idea. One of our colleagues here went to an event the other day, and she put a name on a bag, like, "But also I can show you how to do this." Yeah.
So, I like that. Yeah.
People like stop and like, "Well, how did you do it?"
Yeah. No, I like that. I do like that.
I used to on the back of the card, didn't I, where it was all branded and stuff. I then wanted to say, "But you now know about my business, but I still don't know about yours." And it is just one of those things that I always do think everyone's always missing. You just got to brand continuously all the time, even if you don't have a logo or a company name that says what you do. That logo being in someone's face on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, wherever it is, whether you've got a wife or a husband that is walking around a supermarket and it's on a shopping bag, or you've got someone that's standing in a school playground with an umbrella, it is a name and it has to be in people's minds. I'd brand everything.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. So one of the main things I say when we have new businesses come in here, I'll say, "Okay, don't forget to do neck labels now."
Yeah.
And first, offer to charge for them because it could be an extra £1.50 per top. They say no. Put your own brand in there then and just use a tearaway neck label.
Yeah.
We a year down the line, someone could be washing that t-shirt and be like, "Oh, Brand It Essex.
Mm.
I need some stuff for work actually.
Yeah.
Them are cool because this stuff's great."
Yeah. To be fair, there's something Heather spoke about when I come in here last time. So she was doing her bit. Bless her. She did well there. But
it's ultimate branding business card for clothing, at least.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, because that was with the you've got the separate plate, haven't you, with one of your things that you can get.
You can do both at the same time now, which is quite cool.
Yeah, I did have a look at that.
So one of the things I did want to talk to you about is the fact that you are in front of the camera quite a lot.
Yes.
It's quite it's not something that everyone's that comfortable with. It's something that I've been preaching quite recently in the podcast about. We're going into potentially a challenging year next year, and people who are not kind of putting themselves out there, explaining what they do, enforcing quality, are going to perhaps struggle a bit. But at the same time, I do realize it's not everyone's natural forte to be like, I'm just going to start talking about my business today.
Yeah.
But so I wanted to know about why you started doing it, when you first started, how it was when you first started recording yourself talking about the brand.
To be honest, I started doing it because it was something that Steph always did for her business.
Okay.
And the reason Steph did it for her business, and I obviously still do it, is generally down to our business coach.
Yeah.
Everything. Well, you've been coached for like 6-7 years. I've been there for 1.5 years, 2 years. And you have to have conversations with people about your business. If you're not telling someone about your business, then how can you expect them to know about it? So like you've got to use every opportunity. Like my picture, my profile picture isn't my company logo. It's me with the car. Before that, it was me with the logo underneath it. It wasn't.
You've noticed that there's a common.
Yeah, it's always about me.
Yeah,
it has to be about me.
There's no one else in the company.
It has to be about me. No,
it's just Jim.
No, I carry everyone. My back hurts today.
Yeah.
But no, our coach, he very much says that, you need to have conversations every day. And by doing it, you tell people about your business.
If you're not doing it, somebody else is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to be honest, that's one thing that, like you said, in our industry, but very few people.
It's in like the single digit percentage.
I think it's because people think it's boring to talk about, but it's actually really, really interesting.
Yeah, it is.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you that, Steph. And that's what I keep telling people is actually like the reason that people, and I know from what you've been telling me, is the reason people are buying from music is they care about this nerdy, what I always call nerd. Think about the nerds in a positive way, but they're I want to know about this new Storm Tech that's coming, because they're like, they care about getting that in products. Like, James and Steph are going to give me some really cool gear. Brand on now. Yeah,
exactly that.
About it, and you're like, this is what you need. And like, okay, brilliant. I'm going to go out and in my workwear, I'm going to look great. People can be like, I take that person seriously. I'm going to give them my business now.
Yeah.
And it is also personal. Like when I started my company back in 2014, Instagram and stuff really wasn't a big thing. And then I don't really think the stories and speaking on the stories come around until you was
Facebook, when you was making on Facebook
maybe. And my business coach was like, just film it. And I'm not filming it. I was so anti it. I was like, no. I was like, I'm not going to be one of their people. Not doing it. It's not QVC. Not doing it. And I remember the first time I filmed a story, we was in the print factory, and all of my clientele back then were mainly females, because I had a wedding gift company. So it was a little bit more relatable. I remember I put a filter on and I was a reindeer. I was that
you was. That was it. That was
and
the first thing.
Was I've still got it. But every single day, my business coach was like, just do something else. Just do it again. Even if it's for 20 seconds, just do a little bit. And then I got to that point where I was spending hours on it, wasn't it? Like all day long. Like even doing the school run, I would film and talk whilst I was doing the school run. And then what I was noticing was happening was that people were buying into not our lifestyle, because we don't have we just have a normal lifestyle, but it was relatable. So then people were buying because they felt like they knew you. They had an online friendship. Yeah. And I don't think nowadays people really go out and door knock and meet clients. So the best way to do it is on social media. Yeah. And you can't filter yourself. I know that people think you can, but you really can't. Not on stories. You are what you are. Yeah. And
that's authentic then. And people want authenticity with the people they're buying from.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And you do. I've got a personal Instagram. I can't remember. I don't know what the logins are to it. everything I do goes on the business page. You know, we had a date day the other week, didn't we?
Yeah.
First time in a long time,
Yeah, we
as I keep getting told. But yeah, we did that, and that was on there. That was on the stories, and then we do stuff with our daughter, and that goes on the stories.
But it's also things like when we are doing non-work related things, people will then comment and go, "Oh my God, you've literally just reminded me I need to place an order on Monday."
Yeah.
Because we haven't switched off on a Friday. We're still going.
Sounds terrible, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sounds terrible.
We'll be like on holiday.
We went out for dinner the other night. Oh yeah, we went out for dinner the other night, and literally I'd had some of the best views I'd ever had on my story, and it was so irrelevant to what we do. But yeah, it's
the days when we've got
Brand It logo though.
no, but I was with my business coach though, so it was
that was an agreement, wasn't it? I said he was like, I don't know what to wear, and I went, you are not wearing a branded jumper today. Like, it's just not happening today. He was like, what about coat? And I was like, okay.
We actually left the smart car at home as well, didn't we?
We did leave
we
the
left the smart car at home. Yeah, it was a bad
we won't
day.
have that issue. We keep going back and forth about getting a new car, don't we? And then I'm like, why are we not just keeping the car that we've got and we'll just fully brand it?
Yeah.
Jim's like, what, you're happy to do that? And I'm like, yeah, like, I'm always in the car, so why would I not just drive around a big 4x4 that's just fully branded?
It's only a shame you can't put like a leaflet holder on the side.
You know what though? I have actually seen this before. There's someone in our local town that has got
It's not a mini, isn't it?
Yeah, they've somehow managed to
a business card holder or something.
But I'm going to do a QR code. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, smart.
Or find a way to attach a roller banner, so just so I know when I've parked it somewhere. Then.
So one of the things that you mentioned a few times about your business coaching, this is something that I really want to talk about, because I think it's very important how people are humble enough to be continuously improving. This is something that I have a conversation with our customers here a lot. It's like, okay, what can you do to be better? So I'd really love to hear a bit about how you got involved with the business coach, what sort of lessons you've learned from that, how you apply that to the business.
Probably starts with you, because when you told me you was going for the free preview, I told her not to be so bloody stupid. If I'm really honest, all those years ago, I said don't buy anything. I said he's just going to try and sell to you.
I was at this stage in my life where my dad was getting ready to retire and he wanted to leave his print company to me, but didn't really know how to run a company. I didn't. I'd obviously sat across the office from him for years and years, but I just pushed around paper, to be honest with you. So, and I was a bit like, right, if I go and I enjoy it, then I'll come back. And it pretty much, I don't want to say this because I'm sure he's going to listen to it, but it probably actually changed my life. And we did, and we come back and I was completely buzzing. I'm going to Jim, oh my God, so we're going to do this. And Jim was like, you're an idiot. Jim was like, you've fully fallen for a trap. Like, they're going to take all your money and you're not going to do anything. And I was like, well, that's on me. I said, I'd rather fail because of I failed than failed because I haven't tried. Yeah. And, oh God, everyone was so anti it, weren't they? Everybody.
I don't like being sold to. I'm a salesman, so I don't like to be sold to.
And at the time, my company was only doing like £250 a month. So I actually really didn't have anything to lose. Again, that was a side hustle. I had a full-time job and I had a side hustle. Yeah. Well, within 6 months, he was showing us how to do all the social media thing, which again was really new back then. And I took it, and I think within the first 6 months, I'd grown to like over 100 grand in sales. Wow. So then I was like, by the way, I didn't listen to you and it worked. Yeah. And I just carried on doing it, evolving, didn't I? My company blew up to the point where Dad retired and I didn't want his company anymore. I had my own. Oh, he gave it to my other sister, so now she's got it. And then I just sort of taught you, didn't I? Yeah. And then I made you come along, and yeah, that was it. Yeah,
to be fair, Adam's been in life so long that I've met Adam. We've sort of been out for dinner, and his son's friends with our daughter, and all them sort of things. And yeah, it was just natural progression that when we started Brand It, we was going to sort of make that involved as well.
And I do think with anything in life, if you don't know how to do it, you can always go and ask someone. But in business, I actually think that business owners are really...
It's a lonely world, or it can be.
Very, very... I do always think it's a really lonely world being in business. Especially when you hit hard times. No one wants to talk about the hard times because you might get judged, or someone's like, oh, they're not doing very well. When having a network and someone that you can go to and they go, this is fine, like this isn't a big deal. Everyone's facing this. that you can then overcome it. And going through COVID, that was like probably one of the most. Well, you just started Brand It, hadn't you?
Yeah, we was effectively
6 months in, I guess, was it?
we was 3 months before it started.
Yeah.
So we was 2019. So we were effectively a COVID company. So we didn't know anything different. But my main customer base is construction from my background, and obviously construction has thrived and tends to be the last thing that goes when the world goes. Yeah. So yeah, it's been, but
having like a network of people that are going through it, I think is really important. So that is my one advice to anyone who is in business. Even if you don't think you need one, and there are plenty of people that don't think they need one, you need one.
Yeah,
because you can always learn from somebody else, and the fact that someone's willing to give you that information, why not take it? I sometimes just don't understand it.
Yeah, I was there yesterday, and you go through stuff, and even if it's stuff that you sort of know a bit about, every time I go, there's like a epiphany moment, or whatever they call it, where something goes, oh, I never thought about that. Oh, that's great. I'm going to implement that. And yeah, we take something every time.
It's
literally every time,
well, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's client base. We sort of, you end up building clients for life within it as well, which makes it even more worthwhile. I mean, I had the honour of meeting Sarah Willingham yesterday. I had my photo taken with her, one of the dragons, or one of the old dragons, and you get loads of opportunities and things. It's something I'd recommend to anybody out there who wants to progress their business and even just have the support.
Yeah, and I think that's something it's always worth doing your homework to see what is out there. I used to work for Department of International Trade, and the amount of resources that's essentially a free service that not nearly enough people in the UK take advantage of, and they're literally employed to try and make UK companies more successful.
Yeah,
they give you access to things like, I know all about all these grants that are available, business support loans that you might need at any point. But by getting out there and trying to improve yourself, you never know where it might end up at that point, I think. But I think it's about having that mindset of being open to, I'm going to try and improve my business today, even if it's like I'm going to save £1 a day by doing something different. I mean, it all adds up at the end of the year. Yeah,
it's difficult. I mean, it's like the saying, isn't it? You want to sort of spend time working on your business rather than working in it, and sometimes it's just not possible when you've got things going wrong. But it is very important to actually get out there and do it and learn, and make sure you sort of expand your mind. And there's the thing, like in the years you've been working with Adam, social media has changed so many times. I mean, even recently with the whole algorithm thing that's been going on with Facebook and everything, iOS updates, that's killed so many businesses. But you need to stay on top of it, and you can't do that if you ain't got people there that are sort of going through and learning this stuff and helping teach you. So I think it's very, very important. Very important.
Excellent. Well, that's really, really pleasing to hear that you're just continuously progressing, because I think that's the most important thing. And it means where, like I say, when an algorithm changes, you have the mindset of being ready to evolve with it. You're like, there's nothing you're going to be able to do about the algorithm change. Facebook aren't going to phone us all up and be like, what do you think of this?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't. I closed my company last year in the end, didn't I? We had, unfortunately, I got COVID last August time, and I just couldn't work. Like, I just couldn't. I was so wiped out with it. And of course, because no one was posting on social media, because that was what I done, my algorithm just went, and I could just never get it back again. Whereas we're quite lucky now with Brand It, aren't we? That we've got Connor, we've got you, I'll jump on there, Chris will jump on there. We've always got someone to
keep it consistent.
Yeah. Connor's Connor is our full-time social media guy. If you see our stories, you'll see him. He jumps on there. He does some of the reels and things. But he's literally, we've got posts scheduled every single day for the next month, already booked in. We've got reels that are in the background being built up. We've got stories. I literally said to him earlier, I'm like, right, you're sorting these orders out, they're going out. Yeah. I was like, make sure you get them on the stories. And he's like, yeah, I will. I was like, no, make sure they're going to stories. Because I need to make sure that we keep going. And you need a bit of a mixture of work, a bit of fun, a bit of something else that's going on in life. And
a bit of banter, a bit of...
Yeah, I think there's a really nice balance on your account, because you start to, like say, you get to know the people, you get to idea of your personality. And some people might be like, that's not for me, but most of the people be like, they're they're living
Yeah.
and breathing what they do, so they're going to care about what my end product's going to be, which I think is massive.
Connor films the cats, doesn't he?
Yeah, he loves
And
the cats.
He loves the cats, and honestly, I'll go through like the inbox, and I'm like, oh my god, like such and such has replied about the cats,
Yeah.
or it's just sometimes people just always talk about the cats, and I'm like, is there just nothing else today? But then it will go from, oh my god, is this all these cats do is sleep, and then it'll be like, oh, I've just remembered, can I find out about that blah 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 that Jim had on the other day? And I'm like, honestly, like, this is just
it's just sort of staying apparent, just staying out there and staying if it was mine. So yeah.
If your stories aren't working, basically you need to get Connor and cats.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah. You can't have Connor though.
No, Connor's ours, and
you can't have Connor.
cats.
No.
Fair enough. So one of the things you also take quite a proactive approach in is the design aspect of things. So a lot of people just take a design and put it on a mug or a dish or whatever it is, maybe. But is there any advice you give to people about design, or why have you taken a kind of more hands-on approach to that?
I've got to answer this really nicely.
Yeah, I'm answering this because when we was sort of thinking about speaking about this when we was on the way here, and Steph was struggling to think of a nice way to write it to say it, but so long story short, we get a lot of requests for things to be printed or embroidered, and even if the logo has been sent over to us in a meaningful format, it's often something which has been designed to look extremely pretty but not very brandable.
Right.
So for us, it was important that we could offer design work because we find that designers can be disjointed from the actual production side of things.
Yeah.
So you'll get somebody and they go, I've made this fantastic thing, but you go, right, but you can't actually print that. Why can't you print it? And it's a disjointed approach. And like you'll find that we in merchandise, a lot of things are spot printed. So you'll be spot colors. You can have like with your 1:5 screen print transfers. Yeah. If I give you a gradient, you can't use it.
Yeah.
Because you've got a million colors in that. Mm-hmm. And you find that there's a bit of a disjointed approach to it where people they design something, but they can't actually, it's not a brandable product. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you find that in embroidery, you find it in all sorts of things. So for us, it's important to be able to do design work. I mean, we're both capable with Adobe, both self-taught, through sort of learning it and doing whatever it is we need to do. But yeah, we decided we needed in-house design so that we can do these things. You know, we sort of take JPEGs and we'll turn them into vectors so that we can then use them for branding and things like that. It's just another service we can offer as well. Yeah. You know, if you gave me something that looked rubbish, we'll turn it into a vector and charge for it. In short, but yeah, it makes our lives easier. Plus, it's an extension to the services that we offer, and it just kind of makes it more of a complete branding service.
Makes things realistic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to be really careful of how I say this. I just wish that every graphic designer went and worked in a print or production factory for at least 2 years. I think that should be, that has to be a law somewhere, that they get to design something and then they get to take it all the way through to print and then it doesn't come out how they thought it was going to look.
Yeah.
Because that is the biggest thing, metallic.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love the metallics until it comes through on a logo and it's got all of like this really lovely gradient to it. And they go, so you can make it look like that. And I'm like, but it's going to look like a photo in theory, because it's not going to be shiny unless you want to pay X, Y, and Z more, or you want a foil print on something, or you want a metallic print.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't really want to pay that. And I'm like, well, it's not going to look gold then. It's going to look yellow, green, and brown.
Yeah. Or when you get the designs that come over in RGB, and you're like, it doesn't print in RGB.
Yeah.
What do you mean? No, that's like a screen graphic. It's like for websites and things. Oh, okay. So why can't I print that blue? Because it's going to convert it to CMYK and it's not going to be the same. And yeah, there's unfortunately, if somebody's been told the wrong thing by the designer, they think that we're the ones being difficult. So we kind of just try to join it all up and give it
calligraphy writing. When that comes over, and I think to myself, right, so we could cut and weed it. but it's not going to last very long because it's not thick and it's going to rip, and we know it's not going to last very long. And we could embroider it, so we send it off for stitching, don't we, for digitizing. It comes back and it's obviously been thickened up because there's no point embroidering a 1 millimeter stitch. It's just pointless. I don't like it now. Yeah, I know, but it's not going to work any other way. Well, it works on my banner because it's been printed.
But there's even like limits to the transfers, isn't there? You get the small detail that you do, but you go too small on it, and it's still not got a lot of material to grip hold of. Like, there's limits to everything. And
well, the main thing as well is that can a customer see? If you go too far with the detail, will the end result be that customer looks at your customer looks at me like that looks really good, or they look good, or they're just like, what's going on there?
Yeah, but we have this quite a lot with the embroidery
codes, aren't we?
Yeah, we get a lot of QR code requests.
It sounds
and
really
this pixelated thing, then when we're like, that's not going to scan if we try and print that.
Well, then I think to myself, my God, what about if the embroidery machine has an issue and one stitch out and that whole QR code isn't going to work? And then I think to myself, my God, what if we do it by print and something changes and it stretches one section of it? I get really, so now I'm like, we just can't do it because it just stresses me out. And I know full well we'll do it one day and someone will go, doesn't work. And I'll be like, but it worked when we sent it. It doesn't work now.
Well, the risk you've got with the QR codes, because we can print and make them work, but it's reliant on someone using a fully paid QR service, not just being I'll just use the trial.
That's the other thing. Do you know what? When I first started, I actually ordered some business cards, and I did exactly that. I'd got this. I was QR code, brilliant. It goes to my website, does everything, and then I've got these business cards all printed out and sorted, and then a week later they expired. And I was like, the monthly fee on that QR code is more than I spent on the business card. Like, there's just it doesn't make sense. But no, the other thing is we get that a lot with when it comes to embroidery. So you take charge of all digitizing and things when you turn it into like the embroidery file where you for the stitch count, and you do all the colors, you do all the sizing. But when we're doing the letters, we'll only do it to a certain height. Like if you sort of drop below about 7 mil, you find all the detail goes out of it. That's kind of something we try to put across in the videos and things. But people are like, no, I don't get it. And I'm like, well, if you get your tape measure out and you put that, you've got that as a 4 mil at the moment. Imagine how much thread's in 4 mil. And they're looking at it, they're like, oh yeah, I suppose so. And I don't think people don't necessarily see the whole thing, the whole picture. You need to sort of sometimes guide them. And that's kind of, that's kind of why we do it all. That's where we hold people's hands. I mean, I don't know if you've been on our website, but our website is, if I'm honest, I think the landing page side of it could do a bit more aesthetics on it. But to be honest, the whole website is geared up around the functionality in the back of it. So you can go on it, pick your t-shirt, put your logo on it, see it designed. And then you get a full quote breakdown with proofs. You get everything all lined up and sorted out. Then once it's been ordered, Steph gets it digitized. We then upload the digitized file, and you can see it looks like the embroidery on it. You then approve it and go, yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the color. And it's all like, it's a fantastic process. But yeah, it's all just about being really thorough. And I think we found that with some places, it's not quite the same.
A lot of the feedback we get from
it's kind of you've ordered it tough. That's what it is. Whereas we'd rather go, thanks for your order, that ain't going to work.
We're exactly the same. Is that you should try and you want to build a relationship with that customer. Actually being honest with them sometimes, but actually that you've seen this it's low res. Or you saved a PNG, you opened the PNG up in Illustrator, saved it as an EPS file. I was like, there's no effect.
I love it. Or you get a screenshot and you go, can you send me that as a PDF, please? As a PDF file, and they literally change the screenshot to a PDF, and I'm like, that's not how it works, mate.
No,
that's not how it works.
The other day I had one, didn't I, and come over as a JPEG, and I was like, have you got the original artwork file? And he was like, yeah, I've just sent it to you. And I went, well, no, I said, because that's definitely not the original, because I know that you're with EE and you actually had no service that day. So I said, if you want me to print it with EE and what time and the fact that your battery was going down and stuff, I said, that is how it will look. I said, we need the original artwork file, please.
But so it's important being able to manage design in some way. But we do try and be quite thorough with it, because we feel it makes our life easier as well as the customers.
Yeah, we also do all types of design, don't we? So we're not even talking that, I mean, we don't really charge a lot. So if someone wants a simple logo, we'll charge for a simple logo. Somebody wants a really detailed printable embroidered logo, we'll charge more for it. But then we can do the whole side of it. If someone just wants a banner, we'll just do a banner, business cards.
Yeah. Business cards, layouts, you know. But,
that all comes back to being open with your customers, doing the videos. You see, it's important to educate your customers but by being honest all the time, they know that you're not faking it when it comes to the harder things you have to tell them.
Yeah, we've got no reason to lie.
Exactly. They would think I've got no reason to question them on that one.
Yeah.
Or they can have a more honest conversation and be like, can you explain it to me? And they'll know that you'll be like, it's because this, and this. And like, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. But you're saving them because you want to make sure they go out and look good.
Yeah.
What you've made.
100. You had it the other day, didn't we? Where one of our clients wasn't happy with how something looked, but they wasn't sure with what they looked. So you just said, you were like, do you know what? Are you free tomorrow? I'll bring the laptop down and I'll sit down with you and we'll just sit and sit and we'll keep moving it. We don't charge for that because if they okayed what they wasn't happy with and they got it, they're still not going to be okay with it. They're not going to come back. They're not going to tell anybody else. Whereas a lot of companies, the bigger workwear companies, they wouldn't even think twice about getting in a car and driving 10 miles down the road to sit with a client to just okay something. Even if it's a £20 item, we still want you to be happy with it because you're not. I always say this thing in business. I've always said this, and I don't ever want to look at my customers like they're an order number. Every single customer is a human. We've got customers that we know that have had babies. And then we send out baby gifts to them. Or we know people that are going on holiday or are having extensions done. And Jim and I will be like, oh my God, how's it going? Like, because they're helping us with our family in theory. So we want to watch their business grow. And the branding is a huge part of watching other people's business grow. Like, it's just we're like a little family, aren't we? All of us.
Okay, so that kind of brings me on to one of my other questions I'd like to ask you about, because you're quite involved with your customers, but you're also quite involved with the communities around you as well. And I know that you sponsor the Chelmsford City Girls Youth Football Team, and you're also getting involved this Christmas with a local charity as well. Is that something that's quite important to you as well? Just having that kind of, I've said this quite a lot on the podcast actually, but actually paying attention to your geography is very important as a printing business, in being close to those people and supporting them, because they'll support you back as well.
I've always, we've always tried to do something every single year, haven't we, with a local charity. It might not be a lot. It's all that we can give, but it can make a massive difference to other people. And I think it's really important that as quickly as you can be up there enjoying your life while somebody else is really having hard times, you can quickly swap around. And I think it's understanding and being relatable to the issues that are in the world at the moment. And for us, like, we're serving people in business that can afford to go and buy workwear and they can afford to keep a roof over their heads. But we're quite close to the city, aren't we? And that's just not even possible for some people at the moment. And if we could, so this year, what we've decided to do is, rather than saying, going to a charity and saying, right, look, we're going to give you all of this, we sort of want our customers to get involved with it as well. Because I do think that once you've done a small amount of charity work, you actually really start to get a feel for it, and it feels really good, and it's nice to see other people benefit from it. So this year we're doing throughout December and hopefully into the new year, that basically if a customer buys a sweatshirt or a jumper or however many they buy, we'll match that amount and we'll donate it to, this year it's going to go to Sanctus, isn't it? So they look after homeless and vulnerable people in Chelmsford, which, especially with the premium bundles, there's 2 sweatshirts in every single bundle, and we're knocking out like 10 or 20 sets of them a week. So it's actually, it doesn't seem a lot, but it's actually a lot for people right now.
It's practical as well, because I think sometimes that's the thing with doing something with charity. You want to make sure that what you're doing is making a difference, but actually
100%.
Because you know that putting a warm jumper on someone is going to make a difference.
It's going to make a difference to people in their houses this year. So it is important. It is important. I mean, you've done bits with Kids
Aid,
Inspire
yeah,
and
Kids
Women's
Inspire.
Aid and all sorts of things over the years for your company. I think Kids Inspire was the last one we did stuff for with your company.
Yeah, last Christmas.
And yeah, there's so many sort of great local charities and things about that. You know, we
and are so desperately in need of help.
Yeah.
That I think when people think of charity, we always just think of the big charities that are continuously on our screens as we drive down the road everywhere, that we actually forget about the small charities that are really struggling. And majority of these times, these charities are actually run by people who are struggling themselves. But yeah, so we're hoping.
Yeah, hope it's going to make a bit of a difference. I mean, they do some great stuff down there. They provide warm meals,
and this
clothing.
Is Sanctus,
yeah, it's in Chelmsford. It's by the
yeah, it's on
Road.
Broomfield Road.
Oh, it's Broomfield Road. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's like the hot meals. They've got like mental health team down there. They help people with housing and debt problems and
help
people that
get
just
back
genuinely
into work as well.
Yeah,
which I think.
Yeah. So you know, if we sort of put some jumpers and hoodies and things down there based on take them down there and then hopefully it'll make a difference to somebody. Basically, that's kind of what it's about, isn't it? Sort of a bit of a give back is where we're going with it.
Yeah, 100%. Like people supported us all year, so if we can then go and support something else, then
yeah, exactly. We can, you know, our customers can help support without necessarily having to do anything. They're just sort of, you know, they're going to get their stuff anyway, so it's a bit of a gesture, and we're gonna sort of shout out the people that do it, and we're going to be, you know, sharing their stories, and actually say the donations from them rather than from us.
Yeah,
that's kind of what we wanted to do with it, was do a bit of a give back from everyone, bring it in as a community, and you know, try and make a bit of a difference with it. Basically,
my dream would be that if we grew the company big enough, that I would be able to go into a charity like this and take people who are struggling or have lost a way, and to give them a job or something to do to start to rebuild it, because as we know, it's not that easy to get a job when you're not struggling, let alone when you've really hit a hard time. That would be my be all and end all. Like that would make me happy.
Yeah,
I think that's a really noble idea, and I think it's also good reason to keep pushing your business along, because you know that there's another goal. It's always important to have goals to work for, but that one way you know that actually once if I hit that goal, I can do something that will help more people than you could imagine. I think it's something that's worth striving for and building towards as well.
Yeah, exactly, and hopefully the longer we go, the more we can help, I guess, and pick something different another year. But yeah, it's quite important to be able to give back, isn't it? And
100%.
you've been doing it for years, and it's
excellent. Well, if someone wants to get involved, and you know, there's obviously people are listening. You've got some people that are in your same spot as you. They're garment decorators. Thinking about starting a business. Some people might just listen because they're interested, and actually they prefer to get some branded workwear from yourselves, and it would support the cause. How's the best way to get in touch with you then?
Well, if I'm honest, just to go back a bit, one of the biggest things for me was that I wanted to Google my company and come up on every single line on there. So if I'm honest, if you search Brand It Essex, you should find Instagram, you should find Twitter, you should find LinkedIn, you should find Facebook, you should find Google, you should find Yell. There's so many different outlets on there, because I wanted to not have anyone else come up on my page. If I'm really honest, when I first started, you typed in the company and there was like 10 other embroidery companies.
You probably type in Brand It Essex now on Google search, and it's just Jim's face.
Yeah,
in front of the smart car,
that's kind of it. Yeah, I mean, so we're all over the place. I mean, we spend a lot of time doing work. No, it's a lie. Connor's spent a lot of time. Building up our Google profile and websites, and you know, other various things. But I mean, we're big on Instagram. That's kind of where everything began for us. We're not far off 5,000 followers now, which is a good size, but what I'd say is it's all real followers, and it's all people that follow us because maybe they love me, maybe they hate me, but and it's relevant. And to be fair, we've got a bit of a community on there, and we get people that sort of talk amongst themselves and share stuff. And I had one yesterday where one of our customers had commented on a quarter zip that we'd done, and he was like, "Oh, that's really nice, that is." And then he responded and said, "Oh yeah, that's James at Brand It Essex does that." And I said, "Steph was like, we do both of them. They're both our customer already." But yeah, it was nice. But yeah, so we're kind of all over the place, you know. Can be reached at anywhere, but Instagram, emails, website, LinkedIn, it's kind of everywhere.
It's a good point, actually, because something I did notice. So we're very familiar with you guys and your Instagram account, but one of the things, and I imagine it's probably a byproduct of being out there and talking about your brand, is that you have more customer reviews on your account than I know of a lot of other customers do. I think that's because they're like, I'm really having a fun time, I enjoy buying from them, and they want to be involved in their conversation.
Yeah, and it also benefits them, because we do get this a lot where people will go, "Oh, my order's just been dispatched. Did you take pictures of it?" And we actually always do take pictures because it's social proof that we are actually working. And then we'll go, Connor will stick a reel together, and they'll go, "What? He's going to do a reel?" And I'm like, "Yeah, because it was a big order, so he'll put something together. Can you tag me in it?" So of course they get rid, because I guess for them they think, well, you're actually promoting my company without even me really doing anything. And it is, isn't it? Because then they'll share the reel and it will just carry on going around.
Yeah.
They love doing the videos, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's social media, isn't it? It's sociable. You communicate with each other, you share stories, you sort of share each other's businesses and journeys, and people love that.
I think it's really cool. I don't know why. Do you know what? I still get a buzz from when I see Connor's reshared someone's story, and it's someone who's just, don't know, like they're just really excited. I guess for them, because it's they've watched their brand, and then especially if it's their first workwear order, they get this workwear. And I remember we all know how exciting it is when you've then reached that next level of business where you're like, I can get workwear. Yeah. And it sounds so tiny, doesn't it, in the grand scheme of branding, but it's actually a really big thing. And they're so excited. Like I can just see in their face, like we've got one guy, haven't we? Attentive detailing, and honestly his video just blew me away.
Oh, he does some incredible videos, doesn't he? Does a reel every day basically, and he's always big shout out to Brand It Essex, and it's great.
I love that, because I don't know, like it might just be a proudness thing that I'm like, wow, like that we're involved in that guy's life without him even. I guess that's the difference for us. It's really personal, isn't it? Our clients.
Yeah, definitely.
We enjoy watching their businesses grow.
Yeah.
Whereas I guess for some companies, it's just a ticket or a number. But for us, it's not. No,
definitely not. We do. We'll do like stories. You get like these this and that stories where you've got pick your favourite, and we'll do like a little standoff for people's embroidery and stuff. Yeah. Honestly, he kind of loves doing them. And then we get people and they're like, you're going to share us. You're going to share us. Oh, make sure you like mine. I'm like, I can't like yours.
Someone goes, I voted for the wrong one. I voted. You can't go back on it now.
Yeah, honestly, it's so funny. And then, what if I won? I'm like, well, bragging rights.
Yeah, that is it.
Bragging rights. And then, it's all good fun. It is good fun. But we sort of enjoy doing it.
But I mean, especially some of the smaller ones where you've got a bigger platform, that you know if they're featured on there, that you might be getting them business. Yeah,
but in the same way, like there's people we've dealt with, and when I started this, I kind of looked for some of the bigger accounts.
Yeah,
and there's people we've dealt with that have helped put us up. On the platform, like people that have got some good followers, and there's some people that we'll do an order for that regular customers of ours now, and as soon as we put that order out there and we share it and then they share it, we literally get orders from them just start coming in. And there's about 4 or 5 accounts that in my mind that every time they place an order and we share it, I guarantee I'll get somebody new in their industry every time, because that's what it is. People like to see what other people are doing. They like to see the proof that it's, they've got something good, and that
people like what other people have.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And when it's good quality, it's just a good all-rounder then, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. So is there any advice that you would give to anyone that's thinking about getting into branding or garment decorating in general? Say don't do it.
Don't. Please don't know.
Yeah, don't take my customers.
My biggest advice is don't try to be the cheapest.
Yeah.
Because you will have no end of problems, basically. Because if you're going to sell cheap, people normally have a high expectation, but aren't happy with the price. And that's why we stay away from it and get a business coach.
I think as well, like you said earlier, is that you sell cheap, you often end up having to replace that job.
Yeah.
And I would also say is that, especially when you're first starting out, is that every penny counts, including the ones you need to pay to yourself to have a wage.
Yeah.
And if you're spending half an hour on each job, going back and forth on the phone with a customer trying to fix something, that's money you're not doing something that would improve your business. You're losing another £10 just there.
That is a massive thing. I always say this, that people don't cost in their time at all. So the way that we cost in the fact of the processing time, don't we? How much time it's going to take to press that item, the fact that whilst that machine's down and pressing, we can't be doing anything else. So we actually like to have multiple machines running at the same time, don't we? So we can utilize the time as best as we can. Whereas I do think a lot of people think to themselves, oh, but if I sell it and I make £1.50, I've made £1.50. That's fine when you're dishing out thousands and it's literally just a one colour, bang, 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 bang. You just got someone standing there all day. But in the long run, it's actually really not worth it at all, is it?
No, definitely don't be afraid to walk away from stuff.
Yeah.
Not every customer's right for you.
That is,
as much as you're not right for every customer, you need to know when you can just go, we don't fit each other.
Yeah.
And be honest, we grew so quickly in these last 2 months, didn't we? That we wasn't expecting the growth, especially not with how times are, but we really did grow overnight, basically quite suddenly. And of course, when that happens, you're going to hit problems. Every major company has those problems, and every little company like us has those problems. Is own it. If something is going to be delayed or there's a technical issue, call up your client. Don't email them and pretend that you're all professional now and you're a bog standard script writer. Call them up and say, we're really sorry, there's going to be a delay. This is the issue, or we actually can't do it. We thought we could and we can't. 9 times out of 10, that customer will go, it's fine, don't worry, I'll wait because I'm that desperate to get it from you. Have it all the time, don't we? Where we've had stuff that was on back order and we're really sorry, and they're like, it's fine. And it's coming 2 or 3 months later and they're like, I'm cool with it. I'll just wear it next season.
Yeah.
But I think that's the big thing, that people try and avoid situations rather than picking up the phone. And let's face it, we're all in business. We've all either been in this situation or dealing with a situation.
Yeah, you're not going to be phoning up the one person who's never made a mistake in their whole life.
Well,
you can. Everyone has problems. It's how you handle them and how you recover from them is kind of what's important.
Yeah,
it's kind of what defines us, isn't it? How we survive in a crisis and things.
Okay, and final questions one I like to ask when we have our customers in is, and this can be any of your branded products, but what would you say is the weirdest thing you've had to either put on something or decorate for one of your customers?
Oh my God, I know what it is.
Do you?
Yeah.
Go on.
I don't know if I can say it though.
Why? Because
we done those stag t-shirts and they had, what did they have on the back of the neck?
Oh, I can't remember. When was that?
Their testicles hanging.
Oh yeah.
And they weren't even small, they were big.
Yeah, I don't think we did them at a transfer though, did we? Didn't we use the O-key? I think we did, didn't we?
Oh no, I don't think we did. I think we tried and we couldn't.
Couldn't get the detail.
Yeah, we had to have
I can't remember. It was a while ago now, wasn't it? Yeah, it was some big pink with
That seems to be the common theme when I ask this question.
Yeah,
it's had to put them on a tea towel, I think it was.
It was on the back of t-shirts. It was crazy actually, wasn't it? To be fair, they looked really funny. And especially a couple of them had bald heads, didn't they?
Yes.
These guys, it was really funny from behind. But I mean that's probably the strangest print. But in terms of actual products, I don't think there's anything particularly. Do some merchandise. Do you remember the little bugs that you stick on your computer screen? Bit of nostalgia. You get like them. It's like
back
merchandise from like 20 or 30 years ago. Like we do some cool things like that. We've just done 150 advent calendars for customer of ours. Like, literally cannot wait to share that.
Yeah, they are really cool.
But it's under lock and key until
Wait till at least the 2nd of December for that one.
yeah, until he's given them all out. So that one's a bit of a shame. And we got loads of fully branded footballs from India for a client of ours. Who again we had to keep it quiet until the World Cup started, which is now started. So, but yeah, they were really cool. But I think the stag tops are the only odd one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if we've had anything ultra strange or out there, but I don't think.
Well, the first
But if there's
place
anyone out there,
anyone will know about it will be on your Instagram.
100%.
Sure.
Yeah.
If anyone's listening who's got really strange requests, we're waiting.
Well, I think that wraps it up today. So thank you both for coming on today. I really, really appreciate that. If you want to go and check out Brand It Essex, you should Google them just to check they come up first.
Just because that's what I said would happen.
Yeah, just follow them whichever account you want. So thank you to everyone that's watching or listening. Don't forget to follow along or subscribe so you can get next week's episode. We'll be back again next Thursday at 11:30.